When you wake up in the morning, the very first thought that crosses your mind sets the tone for the rest of your day. If you rise from your bed and immediately think about what went wrong yesterday, or what challenges are waiting for you today, you start the day heavy, burdened, and already behind. But when you start the morning with gratitude, when the first words from your lips are, "Thank God for another day," everything begins to look different. Gratitude is like light breaking through the darkness. It lifts you from worry into peace, from anxiety into calm, from fear into faith. The act of thanking God first thing in the morning is not about ignoring the problems in your life. It's about choosing to focus on the blessings that are already present, blessings that so many people overlook. The simple fact that you opened your eyes is proof of grace. Someone somewhere didn't wake up today, but you did. That alone is enough to shift your perspective. Imagine the power of starting your day by acknowledging that gift. Before you scroll through your phone, before you check your messages, before you even put your feet on the floor, pause and say, "God, I thank you for waking me up." That simple act changes your internal environment. Your thoughts begin to align with positivity. Your energy becomes lighter, and your outlook becomes hopeful. Gratitude is contagious within your own spirit. Once you recognize one blessing, you begin to see another. You start noticing how you still have breath in your lungs, how you have food in the kitchen, how you have people in your life who care about you, how opportunities are still open, how your story is still being written. That chain of gratitude starts a momentum, and momentum is what carries you through the day with strength. There is a reason why so many successful and fulfilled people emphasize gratitude as their first daily habit. It is not just a spiritual practice, it is also a mental one. Neuroscience proves that gratitude rewires the brain, creating pathways of positivity that help you manage stress and challenges more effectively. But beyond science, gratitude has a spiritual power. When you thank God in the morning, you are inviting His presence into your day. You are saying, "Lord, walk with me today." That creates an atmosphere around you that people can feel. You carry peace where others carry panic. You carry patience where others carry anger. You carry joy where others carry despair. That difference is noticeable, and it comes from a heart that starts with gratitude. It is easy to wake up and immediately think about what you don't have or what you need to fix. Maybe the bills are due. Maybe the job is stressful. Maybe relationships are strained. Those realities are there, but when you choose to say, "Thank God for another chance, another day," you're not ignoring the struggles, you're putting them into perspective. You're reminding yourself that if you're alive, you still have hope. Every problem you face is temporary, but every new morning is permanent proof that God hasn't finished with you yet. That thought alone can shift frustration into patience, sadness into hope, and fear into courage. Think about how different your day feels when you start from a place of stress compared to when you start from a place of gratitude. If you wake up angry, annoyed, or rushed, the smallest inconvenience will trigger you. Someone cuts you off in traffic and you explode. Someone at work speaks sharply and you lose your cool. The whole day feels like a battle because you started in the wrong state of mind. But if you wake up thankful, the same challenges arrive and you handle them differently. That person cutting you off doesn't ruin your day. That difficult coworker doesn't steal your peace. Why? Because you already built a shield around yourself with gratitude. You woke up thanking God, and that set the tone for patience, calmness, and strength. Gratitude doesn't change what happens to you, but it changes how you respond to what happens to you. Some mornings you may not feel like giving thanks. Life might be so heavy that gratitude feels unnatural. But that's exactly when it matters most. Gratitude is not about feelings. It's about choice. You don't thank God because everything is perfect. You thank Him because you believe He is still in control. Even in the darkest nights, the morning comes. Even in the hardest trials, His mercy is renewed daily. So when you wake up, even if your heart is heavy, even if you don't have all the answers, choose to say, "God, I thank you for another day." That small act of faith plants a seed. Over time, those seeds grow into resilience, strength, and peace that no storm can take away. It's not about being fake. It's not about pretending your problems don't exist. It's about reminding yourself of what is bigger than your problems. Gratitude says, "Yes, the bills are there, but I'm still here. Yes, the pain is real, but God gave me strength. Yes, life is hard, but I still have breath, and where there is breath, there is possibility." That's the perspective gratitude gives you. When you start with that mindset every single morning, your days become lighter, your energy stronger, your relationships better, and your spirit unshakable. Gratitude sets the tone, and the tone you set is the life you experience. When you open your eyes in the morning, your mind immediately begins to look for something to focus on. If you allow it to, it will run straight to the problems, the deadlines, the bills, the arguments, and all the areas where you feel like something is missing. But gratitude teaches you to train your mind differently. Instead of waking up and thinking about what you don't have, you start by appreciating what you do have. Every morning is a reminder that you are still alive, that you still have breath, that you still have another opportunity to move forward. That alone is worth more than anything money can buy. Too often, people spend their lives chasing what they don't have, always looking at the next thing, the next possession, the next status symbol, while ignoring the blessings right in front of them. Gratitude shifts your focus from lack to abundance, and that shift transforms your outlook on life. Think about how many things you already have that once you prayed for. Maybe years ago you prayed for a job, and now you have one. Maybe you asked for a home, and now you live in one. Maybe you wanted children, and now they're growing in front of you. The truth is, many of the things you see as ordinary today were once blessings you desperately wanted. Gratitude helps you see them clearly again. It pulls you out of the cycle of never enough and reminds you that you are surrounded by answered prayers. When you wake up and say, "Thank you, God, for what I already have," you are acknowledging that your life is already full of gifts, and that attitude creates peace inside of you. There is always something to complain about, but there is also always something to be grateful for. The difference between a person who lives in misery and a person who lives with joy is not the size of their problems, but the size of their perspective. Two people can wake up in the same circumstances. One sees only the hardship, the other sees the blessing hidden inside the hardship. Gratitude allows you to see differently. For example, instead of complaining, "I have to go to work," gratitude says, "I'm thankful I have a job to go to." Instead of saying, "I'm tired of these bills," gratitude says, "I'm thankful I have a home, electricity, and food to eat." That perspective doesn't magically erase responsibility, but it gives you a strength that makes carrying the load easier. When you focus on what you lack, you create a cycle of frustration. You start comparing yourself to other people, measuring your life against what they post on social media, and you convince yourself that you are behind. That kind of thinking robs your joy and leaves you feeling like you are never enough. But when you focus on what you have, you realize you already have more than many others could ever dream of. You have a body that wakes up in the morning. You have air in your lungs, a sky above your head, and opportunities that billions of people would give anything for. Gratitude brings your attention back to reality, not the false images of success that the world tries to sell you. It is not just about big things either. Gratitude sharpens your eyes to the small blessings, the way the sunlight shines through your window, the taste of your morning coffee, the laugh of a child, the hug of someone you love. These things seem ordinary when you overlook them, but they are extraordinary when you stop to notice. A heart that is grateful for the little things never runs out of reasons to smile. And the more you notice, the more you attract. Gratitude has a way of multiplying blessings, because when you appreciate what you have, you become open to receiving more. There are people who wake up every day with far less than you have, yet they carry joy and peace because their hearts are grateful. At the same time, there are people with far more than you, yet they wake up bitter and restless because they always want more. That proves that happiness has never been about possessions, but about perspective. A person who chooses gratitude can live in a small house and feel rich. A person who lives without gratitude can live in a mansion and still feel empty. That is why starting your morning by thanking God is so powerful. It sets the lens through which you see your whole life. When you choose to thank God for what you have, you also guard yourself from envy. Envy is one of the greatest thieves of peace. It whispers that someone else's life is better, someone else's blessings are greater, someone else's journey is more meaningful. But gratitude silences that voice. Gratitude reminds you that your life is unique, your blessings are tailored for you, and your journey is unfolding exactly as it should. It shifts your attention from what others have to what you've already been given. And when you live with that mindset, your heart becomes lighter. You stop running after everyone else's story, and you start living fully in your own. Every morning, when you wake up, you have a choice to complain or to give thanks. One choice drains you, the other fills you. One choice makes you bitter, the other makes you better. When you thank God for what you have, you are training your spirit to see abundance even in scarcity. You are reminding yourself that blessings are not always material but spiritual. Peace of mind, health, relationships, strength, courage, love. These are treasures that money can't buy but gratitude reveals. And once you learn to see them, you carry joy that circumstances cannot take away. What you focus on grows. If you wake up every morning focusing on lack, then lack will dominate your life. But if you wake up focusing on blessings, blessings will grow in your awareness and your experience. That is the secret power of gratitude. It's not about pretending your struggles don't exist, but about refusing to let them blind you to everything that is already good. Every sunrise is an invitation to shift your focus from what is missing to what is present. When you accept that invitation, you walk into the day with a heart that is full, a spirit that is strong, and a mind that is ready for whatever comes. Life has a way of testing you when you least expect it. You can wake up with plans for a perfect day, and suddenly something goes wrong. A phone call with bad news, a setback at work, an argument at home, or even just the weight of circumstances that seem too heavy to carry. In those moments, it becomes easy to slip into discouragement and wonder why things have to be so hard. But when you develop the habit of thanking God every morning, you build an inner strength that helps you face challenges differently. Gratitude doesn't remove the trials, but it equips you to endure them. It reminds you that no matter how big the storm is, there's still something greater holding you steady. Gratitude becomes your anchor when life tries to throw you off course. When you choose to give thanks even in difficult times, you are making a declaration of faith. You are saying, my circumstances are not bigger than my God. My struggles are not greater than my blessings. My pain will not define me. That kind of mindset builds resilience. It doesn't mean you ignore the reality of your challenges, but it means you refuse to let those challenges control your spirit. Gratitude teaches you to look at hardships as temporary seasons, not permanent prisons. You begin to see problems as opportunities for growth rather than punishments. Every trial carries a lesson, and every lesson shapes you into someone stronger. Without struggle, there can be no strength. Without setbacks, there can be no comebacks. Gratitude is what allows you to see your battles not as the end of you, but as part of your story of overcoming. Consider the people who seem unshakable even when their lives look difficult from the outside. It's not that they don't have pain. It's not that they don't have losses. What they have is perspective. They've learned to thank God not just for the sunshine but also for the rain, because they understand both are necessary for growth. They've learned to see challenges as part of a bigger plan, and that trust gives them peace. Gratitude builds that same strength in you. When you wake up and thank God, even when life feels heavy, you are training your heart to trust that He is working things together for your good, even when you can't see how. It's easy to give thanks when everything is going well, when the bills are paid, when relationships are smooth, when opportunities are flowing. But the true power of gratitude is revealed when you can still say, "Thank you, Lord," while standing in the middle of the storm. That kind of gratitude breaks chains of fear. It takes your focus off what's going wrong and places it on the fact that you're still standing, still breathing, still fighting, still hoping. You realize that every time you've been knocked down in the past, you got back up. Every time you thought it was the end, somehow you made it through. Gratitude reminds you of that history. And that history gives you courage for today's challenges. When you thank God during trials, you are also keeping your spirit from being poisoned by bitterness. Struggles have a way of making people hard. If you're not careful, pain can turn into resentment, and resentment can eat away at your joy. Gratitude protects you from that. It softens your heart and keeps it open even when life tries to close it. Gratitude says, yes, this hurts, but I still choose to see the good. Yes, I'm struggling, but I still choose to believe in better days. That decision keeps you from drowning in negativity and keeps your spirit alive with hope. Every challenge you face is an opportunity to strengthen your faith. Gratitude transforms challenges into teachers. A difficult season may teach you patience. A financial struggle may teach you wisdom. A broken relationship may teach you self-worth. Loss may teach you appreciation. Gratitude allows you to extract meaning from hardship rather than letting hardship break you. When you wake up each day and give thanks, even for the difficult parts of life, you are saying, I trust that this struggle is shaping me into someone stronger. I trust that there is purpose behind this pain. That trust becomes fuel for resilience. Think about how different your life would feel if, instead of waking up dreading the obstacles ahead, you woke up grateful for the strength to face them. When you thank God for the breath in your lungs, you realize you have the power to take one more step, to try again, to keep moving forward. Gratitude reminds you that every day is proof you haven't been defeated. As long as you are alive, your story isn't over. That awareness gives you the courage to keep pushing, even when the path feels long. Gratitude also helps you recognize that you are never alone in your struggles. When you thank God in the morning, you are inviting Him to walk with you throughout the day. That presence gives you comfort, because you know you don't have to carry the burden by yourself. Gratitude opens the door to divine strength, and that strength allows you to handle things that would otherwise break you. Many times, people look back at challenges they've endured and wonder how they made it through. The answer is that gratitude kept them connected to a source greater than themselves. They leaned on faith when they had no strength left, and that faith carried them. Every difficulty you face becomes easier to bear when you shift your focus from the weight of the problem to the presence of the blessings around you. Gratitude doesn't mean you're blind to pain, it means you're refusing to let pain blind you to everything else. For every closed door, there's another one waiting to open. For every loss, there's a lesson. For every setback, there's a comeback waiting to happen. Gratitude is what helps you see beyond the present moment into the possibility of what's ahead. When you thank God in advance, even before your breakthrough comes, you are exercising faith. That faith creates resilience, because you're not only grateful for what you see, but for what you believe is on the way. You may not know how things will work out, but gratitude says, I believe they will. That belief gives you the strength to keep standing when everything inside of you wants to quit. Gratitude builds a spirit that cannot be crushed, a mind that refuses to surrender, and a heart that keeps beating with hope. Every morning when the sun rises, it carries with it a quiet message: today is a new beginning. No matter what yesterday looked like, no matter what mistakes you made, no matter what challenges you faced, a fresh sunrise means you've been given another chance. That alone is a reason to thank God. Gratitude in the morning is not just about acknowledging what you already have, it's about embracing the gift of renewal. Each day is like a blank page waiting for you to write on. Gratitude allows you to step into that new page with hope instead of heaviness, with faith instead of fear, with joy instead of regret. When you wake up and immediately give thanks, you are declaring that the past does not define you. Whatever failures, disappointments, or heartbreaks yesterday carried, they don't have to spill into today. Gratitude gives you the strength to release yesterday and embrace today as an opportunity to start over. Every sunrise whispers that you still have time to grow, to heal, to chase your dreams, to love again, to live fully. Gratitude tunes your heart to that whisper. Instead of dragging yesterday's weight in today, you stand in the present moment, thankful for the clean slate in front of you. This daily renewal is a gift too many people take for granted. It's easy to wake up and immediately replay old mistakes in your mind. It's easy to let the pain of the past keep you from moving forward. But gratitude breaks that cycle. Gratitude says, yes, I went through storms yesterday, but today the sun rose. Yes, I fell short yesterday, but today I have another chance to rise higher. Yes, life hurt me yesterday, but today I still have breath, and as long as I have breath, I have hope. Gratitude shifts your focus from the pain of the past to the promise of the present. Renewal also means you don't have to be the same person you were yesterday. Gratitude fuels growth, because it opens your eyes to the possibility of change. When you thank God in the morning, you acknowledge that He has given you time to improve, to make better choices, to become more patient, more loving, more disciplined, more faithful. Gratitude transforms mornings into a launching pad for growth. It fills you with motivation to rise above old patterns and to embrace the person you're becoming. Without gratitude, you might stumble into each day on autopilot, repeating the same mistakes. With gratitude, you step into each day with intention, knowing you've been given a fresh chance to do better. Daily renewal through gratitude also strengthens resilience. Life has a way of knocking you down, sometimes over and over again. If you carry every fall into the next day, you'll become discouraged and heavy. But if you thank God every morning, you're reminding yourself that yesterday's failure does not control today's opportunity. You may have lost yesterday, but today you can win. You may have been rejected yesterday, but today you can try again. Gratitude teaches you to rise each day like a fighter, ready to step back into the ring of life, knowing every round gives you another chance to claim victory. Every sunrise is God's way of saying, I still have plans for you. Gratitude tunes your heart to hear that. When you wake up and give thanks, you are saying, I believe my story is not finished. I believe new blessings are waiting for me. I believe today holds opportunities that yesterday couldn't bring. That belief creates a spirit of expectation. Instead of walking into the day with dread, you walk into it with anticipation. And when you expect good things, you are more likely to notice them, to seize them, to create them. Gratitude is the fuel of expectation, and expectation opens the door to miracles. Renewal is not always dramatic. Sometimes it's in the small, quiet shifts. Gratitude helps you notice them. A small step forward today is still progress. A kind word spoken today is still healing. A new idea that sparks in your mind today is still growth. Gratitude teaches you to celebrate those small renewals because they are the building blocks of transformation. Too often people wait for big breakthroughs to feel thankful, but it's the small daily renewals that shape the big picture of your life. Gratitude allows you to see those small victories and draw strength from them. When you start your day with gratitude, you also protect yourself from carrying bitterness into the new day. Bitterness is like poison from the past that seeps into the present. If you wake up and immediately focus on who wronged you, what went wrong, or what you lost, you are already starting the day poisoned. Gratitude cleanses that. It reminds you that you don't have to drag old wounds into new mornings. You can let them go, forgive, and focus on what's still possible. Gratitude creates emotional renewal. It gives you the freedom to wake up with a lighter heart, ready to love and trust again. Every morning of gratitude is also a spiritual reset. Thanking God the moment you wake up is like recharging your soul. It fills you with peace, centers your heart, and realigns your perspective. That spiritual renewal makes you stronger to face whatever comes your way. Without gratitude, you may wake up feeling empty and unprepared for the challenges of the day. With gratitude, you wake up spiritually armored, ready to handle obstacles with patience and wisdom. That spiritual strength is one of the greatest gifts daily renewal brings. Gratitude also keeps your hope alive. Renewal is about more than just surviving another day. It's about believing in the possibility of better days ahead. When you give thanks each morning, you are saying, I believe my future can be brighter than my past. I believe there is purpose in my pain. I believe there are blessings still waiting for me. That belief sustains you during tough seasons. It allows you to endure setbacks without giving up. It allows you to dream even when life has disappointed you. Gratitude breathes life into your hope, and hope is what makes each day worth living. Daily renewal means you are never stuck. Gratitude reinforces the truth. No matter how dark yesterday was, the sun still rose today. No matter how much you lost, still have today to rebuild. No matter how many mistakes you made, you still have today to make things right. Gratitude is the key that unlocks that truth and allows you to walk in it. Every morning you thank God. You are not just appreciating the gift of another day. You are embracing the opportunity to grow, to change, to start fresh, to live better.